showing your live.
They're commenting. I'm just now going. What are you talking about? Hello. Did y'all hear our comments? It occurred to me. No, I guess you might not have because I was just going live. Anyway, welcome. Welcome to the Friday show. Hey, everybody. I'm glad you're here. It was in what I'm referring to is that as I was hitting the go live button, Bo opens the door and he says, I'm not showing that you're live. And I assumed that he meant, the waiting room that YouTube has. And I was like, well, I've seen comments, so obviously I'm there. But I think he might have thought that I was running late. But I thought I went live right at 1. Who knows? Around here with me, it takes so little to confuse me, to throw me off. Anyway, welcome everybody. I'm glad you're here. It's Friday. That means it's time for our weekly roundup, right? I was looking at the comments and it looks like we've got a wide range of weather. Karen, it's cold and rainy, and Anne is enjoying some nice 88-degree temperatures. We have beautiful weather here in Florida. I don't know what the exact temperature is. I know when I took Samantha out, it was beautiful, a little bit breezy as it is at this time of year. I'm sure a little warm if you're out in the sun for an extended period of time, but for the amount of time I was out there, it was lovely. So yeah, it's a good time of year. 78 in Ocala. So I'm guessing we're in the upper 70s then as well. Hey, Shannon. Hey, Laura and Valera. Oh, Valera's still working on her Cubs socks. All right. I like it. And let's see, Anne is here. I'm sorry, I was busy reading comments. Oh, Shannon is making another emotional support chicken for a friend. I love it. Hey, Carol, glad to see you. Ooh, rainy and in the 50s in Virginia as well. My goodness. So we've Karen. We got 3 Karens. Karen Cube today. We have Karen Sobel, Karen Leggett, and Karen Burnett. There's a kitty cat that keeps crossing by my window today. I wonder where he or she is from. We don't get a lot of cats in this neighborhood because we have some coyotes. And I think that any wild cats, unfortunately, meet an untimely demise. But that one's definitely been walking around. Interesting. Okay. So let's see. Oh, Tish, you have rainy weather too. Yes. All right. Well, if I didn't say hello and you're here, welcome. I'm glad to see you all. And for those of you who join in later, welcome to you as well. So yeah, it's always busy around here. You know how it is. I do have another brown sugar shaken espresso, my first one for the week. It kind of takes, I think, let's see, I ran out of here at 12:42 and got back at like 12:55. So that means it took me like 13 minutes to make 2 of these for me and Morgan. That's a lot of time in Carolyn's world. So Friday is about the only time that I can make time for that. Okay, let's get going. So, couple of things. April Fiber Challenge. How are y'all doing? I've seen some very interesting projects. I love that. That's awesome. I will show you. I picked out the prize for the April Fiber Challenge. So, here it is. Here it is. This is, so we have 1 skein of To the Moon and Back. So, I did this one. This is on Trusty Sock, by the way, and I decided to go with this because it's a little bit of a hint towards something that's coming in the future. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, so that is part of the prize for the April Fiber Challenge, along with this mini on Cindy Lou Who. It is not a perfect match in there. I specifically went for something that was different. There's a tiny bit of just the smallest hint, but it's not quite. I wanted something that was truly more of a contrast in case the winner decides they want to knit some socks. You never know. Also, I thought I would show you the prize. Y'all remember for March's Fiber Challenge, that was that the winner, who was Susan Marshall, would get to pick a color, and then I would dye up some whimsies for her, right? And she chose blue. So this is what I dyed. Susan, when you watch, if you don't want to see it until you get it in the mail, you got to close your eyes. Because here it is. I did a dark, it's a tonal. It's definitely a tonal because I added some grays in there, different shades of blue, even some turquoise, although you really can't. Oh, I see a tiny bit of it, but it really melded together with that deeper blue. So I named it Sassy Sapphire for Susan. So those are the two skeins. Those will be going out in the mail today for her. Congratulations, Susan. Yeah. So, and then we'll talk about May's Fiber Challenge coming up. I know I'm actually ahead of the game for once, but some of these things take time to plan for. So I have actually been, hey, everybody, hey, Liz. How did I like my matcha the other day? I actually liked it very much. It was very good. I need to find some more recipes. So we have a regular iced coffee, just iced with, Morgan put some xylitol in it for me and then almond milk. And that's good. That's usually what we have most days. And then some days a matcha tea, and then the brown sugar shaken espresso. And then of course at night, Bo and I will make lattes. Lately, he's been the maker of all of those. Thank you, Tish. I'm glad you like it. And Liz, did I say hi to you? And Katrin is here as well. Welcome. Cindy B. Hello. Glad you're here. And okay, so what are some other announcements? One thing I wanted to announce. So tomorrow, if you happen to be local, the Bay Area Knitting Guild is hosting their once a month Knit in the Park that they do. It's at John Chestnut Park in Palm Harbor, and they do it from like 10 to I think 2 or something like that. Anyway, I plan on showing up. I have some yarn business to attend to. I was actually planning on being there anyway, but I have some yarn I need to take over anyway. So I'll be there. So if you happen to be local or in the area, come on out and join us. You can find the exact information in the Bay Area Knitting Guild's Facebook group. So what else did I want? Oh, I wanted to mention, I put it in the newsletter. So Monday is National Donate a Book Day, which I didn't know was a thing. I just happened upon it. I don't remember where. Probably one of the many social media outlets. It probably popped up there. Anyway, I found it and I was like, oh, that's very cool. So I don't know about y'all. I think if you're a reader, you regularly donate books, either just by passing them on to somebody or, when you're done. I know plenty of people who usually buy their books and then when they're done, they'll pass them on. Some people just check out from the library, which I love that too. And so, yeah, there's all different ways, but if you're a reader, you find ways to get books. Am I right? I mean, I was in Aldi the other day and I was like, whoop, is that a book I see? And I bought it. I did. I just started reading it. It's actually, what is it? The Unhoneymooners by, I don't remember her name. I'd never heard of her before. But it's it's obviously a romance, a comedy, rom-com. So, but it's cute so far. Anyway, so I would post it in the newsletter that if you make a special point to donate something next week, then take a picture, put it in the Swan City Stitchers Facebook group. I'd like to see it. So I don't know if I'll actually go out on Monday to donate, but I do know I have a stack of books that I need to donate to my local library. And then I also have some notebooks like that you write in that I know I'm not going to use. I don't even know how I came across them. But anyway, those I'll donate to Goodwill or wherever I next take my batch of donations to. So I thought that was pretty cool. And we have a lot of readers, so I thought y'all might be interested too as well. Yep, local library. Ann says, yeah, that's where I typically go. I know we have some of those little libraries around town as well. Oh, thank you, Tish. Christina Lauren. Did you look that up or did you know? You probably knew that, didn't you? But yes, thank you. And I don't know, like I said, I haven't heard of her before, so I don't know if she's a prolific author or not. But yeah, it's really good so far. If you like a light, easy read, this is, that's nothing hard about it for sure. So, and to Liz, books are as necessary as yarn. Yeah, between reading and knitting, well, and physical activity keeps me sane. Those are probably the three things. Well, I don't know. You could say Bo keeps me sane too. So, wow, it takes a lot to keep me going, apparently. But I do like my books. That is for sure. So anyway, you looked it up. Hey, that's fine by me. You are our resident researcher. So listen, this week I have been blown away by the whips and the FOs that y'all have been doing, and I want to show them to you. The first one, I actually should have shown this last week. I apologize. I had it set up and somehow, I don't know, did it not load in my interface or what? But this is Bobby Jopling, and she says she finally got around to weaving in her ends on her, I think you pronounce it Lee, top, and it's beautiful. That colorway was, it has Bond Anniversary, and I don't remember if she put another colorway in there with it or not. That was a fabulously popular colorway, which, by the way, this past weekend when I was at She Sells Yarn in Ormond Beach, that was the occasion, her anniversary was how that yarn got dyed up in the first place. And I just happened to see that she still has at least one skein of that on Silky Sock hanging on her wall. So, if you fall in love with that colorway, you can always reach out to Helen and ask her about it. And then Valera, the socks that she just mentioned, look at all that red, which I know makes Valera happy. It also makes me happy because I love red. And if you're not familiar with it, these are her Cub socks. So she's keeping track of the Cub scores, and the red represents the scores of the Cubs, and then the blue is the opposing team. And then Valera, you'll have to tell, Bo and I were trying to figure out the green. That's not in between each game. You must have multiple games. Bo said maybe it's in between each series of games, because apparently in baseball, they tend to have series of games, which I haven't watched baseball in years, so I did not remember that at all. But anyway, the socks are looking gorgeous. And then Anne, oh my goodness. Okay. So these are, she knit these socks for her husband. I think she said he calls them his chocolate socks, which I love. I think I need a pair of these in my future. She used Mocha Mousse to do it, which means I'm going to have to dye another skein because I don't have any left. But I think I need these socks in my future because they look awesome. So yeah, nicely done, Anne. Nicely done. All right, this is Laura. She finished, Tana is the name of the shawl. And she used the First Love colorway, and which I thought was interesting. I looked up the shawl because I really like it. So I looked up the pattern, and the First Love colorway that she used actually looks a lot like, very similar to the colorway that the pattern designer used. So, and I think it's cool in there. This is a great pattern for a variegated skein, and it kind of shows you the different layout of color that you can get with a variegated skein in a wide project like that. Because you can see down at the bottom there's kind of, it almost looks like some striping going on. But then when you get up in the further sections going up higher, you see just a little bit of color pooling, which is really fun. I love that. I love how that worked out. So Nicely done, Laura. This project, oh my goodness, had me swooning, of course. Katrin is knitting a hat and she paired executive producer with nutmeg, and which it makes sense that they would go together. Green and pink oftentimes will look good together. But these, wow, she just hit it out of the ballpark. Forgive my pun. And I thought it was interesting. So, she mentions using something called a diss stitch, which is a way of knitting, and then you get these kind of elongated looking stitches. So I looked it up really quick, and I thought it was really cool for those who have done the shadow wrap heel on a sock. I know, totally different project, but when you lift up that bottom stitch on the to create your short rows, that's essentially what a diss stitch is. So I just thought it was so cool. The shadow wrap heel gives it a different term. And you don't knit it together right away necessarily, but like you do with the diss stitch. But anyway, it's really cool. If y'all haven't ever seen it, which I had not, then I would say look it up. There's some neat videos on YouTube that just quickly show you exactly what a diss stitch is. I think it's awesome. And this hat is amazing. I can't wait to see what it looks like when it's done. All righty, Anne. Nope, not Anne. I was thinking Anne because Anne had two projects. She has two projects this week, but this is Linda. So Linda did something new to her. She said she was watching the Crazy Sock Lady who was using minis, and she liked the way it looked, so she did it as well. And basically what you've got here is a pair of scrappy socks, which, as she said, it looks cool, but, and this is my wording, it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to weave in all those ends. But yes, I do love, I love a scrappy sock, especially when they're not perfectly matching. So, you know, these are very near and dear to my heart. I love them. All right. And I probably should have mentioned the colorways. She used a bunch. You're Blushing, Candy Shards, Happy as a Clam. Those are the cuffs and the toe, or the heels and the toes, sorry. And then Dawn Patrol, Punk Pink. Nice. All the colors. I love it. All right. And then Anne, our overachiever, which I love, she finished her Stay Toasty scarf. You're really showing me up, Anne. I don't appreciate it. No, I'm just kidding. I love it. So it matches her hat that she made earlier. I think it was the Ponderosa hat. And yeah, so it looks amazing. And both of these were knit in Leprechaun in fluffy sock and fluffy lace held together. So yeah, looking good. And I just noticed that Cindy Nicholas is watching over on Instagram. Welcome, Cindy. Glad you're here. So, all right. Okay, Valera, it is for each game. Okay. So, maybe that'll make more sense to Bo. It takes so little to confuse me. And yes, Bo, yes, in the back of Valera, I don't know if y'all noticed, in the back of Valera's sock picture, there is a Cubs jersey. And I forget the name of the jersey that Valera was gifted, the player, but I do know that Bo was very impressed when he heard that Valera had gotten that jersey. It's a big deal. All right. So, which I'm guessing was number 23. That's why Bo was asking about that. Oh, let's see. Yeah, Laura says the shawl has lots of garter stitch, garter goodness, and some eyelets, and that's like perfect for a variegated pattern. Not too much intricate lace, but some yarn overs make it look good, and some garter stitch or stockinette stitch, anything like that. So, all right. What else have we got here? Oh yeah, Carol, I know, the diss stitch. I was like, I've never heard of this. Never, like never, ever. So it was very cool to get it. Rhino, that's not the name that I remember y'all saying was the player. Anyway, I'm just teasing you, and you're not, you know what? You show me up anytime. I welcome it. I love it. So Actually, I have to say, y'all, have I not been getting more knitting? There goes the kitty cat again. Hmm. And she's part black. I don't know why I say she. She looks like a she to me. I used to love a black cat. When we were younger, we had a barn. My dad always wanted to have cats. And so we'd get a fresh round of kittens every once in a while. And if there was a black one, I always chose the black one. I guess he must have gotten enough for each of us because I remember us on at least one occasion picking that, we would, which cat was ours, even though they were pretty much wild cats. They lived out in the barn and we fed them slop from the dinner table at night. So, but anyway, the black cats were always the one I wanted. So, anyway, as I was saying, have I not been knitting more lately? I love it. I'm so proud of myself. Anyway, y'all remember my Musselburgh hat? Guess what? I finished it. It's not my Musselburgh hat. This is Bo's Musselburgh hat. So it's it's a little big for me. If it were mine, I don't know. Actually, it's pretty good if you want it down around your ears. So there it is. This side is my green side, which I really like. And then the other side is the executive producer side. I think that's the one Bo likes the most. He tried it on, it fits, and then I walked off with it. And he's like, "Where are you going with my hat?" It's like, I have to show it off on the live. Come on. And honestly, I'm probably going to take it to a couple of festivals and trunk shows. So he thinks he's getting it, but not for a while. It's not like he needs it. Although, still probably would. No, still not going to need it. But he was looking up the temperature for LJ since we'll be there at the end of this month. And it's like a 59 degrees today. It was very exciting. So we hope the weather lasts for a few more weeks. So it'll be nice and cool when we get there. So yeah, I didn't count rows. I don't know. I'm curious if any of y'all that have finished the Musselburgh, if you counted your rows to make sure that you had even lengths. I just measured. So I started with executive producer. So I just measured like how long it was. And then from the increases down to where I switched to Gretna Green. And then I measured that much on Gretna Green before I started the decreases again. And I think I got it pretty darn close. So yeah, I didn't, if I were really particular, I probably should have counted the rows, but I didn't do it. Decided not to. So, but yeah, I like it. It was this is definitely, it's a little bit kind of like having vanilla socks on the needles, that it's good for, you have mindless knitting when you're sitting in front of the TV. So I really enjoyed that about this pattern. So yeah, it was super fun. I really like that. So I spent a lot of my week working on that and didn't get as much done elsewhere. However, I think I don't remember where I was at last week. I showed y'all my Stay Toasty scarf, I think, and I've made a little bit of progress on it. I did notice, I was showing my mom because I told her that she might like to make some of these, and because she's been knitting scarves. She knit a couple scarves for her sister, and I don't remember who else. And she was like, I'm kind of don't have anybody else to knit scarves for. And I live in Florida most of the time. So when am I going to need a scarf? So I mentioned this because it's a little more decorative and, you can just wear it as a decoration. So, but what I did notice, I love this I-cord edging, but if you're not careful, you'll get this happening. So by the time I saw that, I was already up a good fair amount. And I realized, I don't think you'll necessarily see it if you're wearing it unless you're like really looking for it. But since then, I have been super careful every row, making sure, because at the end of every row, you slip 2 stitches and you either slip it with the yarn in front or the yarn in back. So I've been very careful to make sure that I have it in the right location so that I end up with the beautiful I-cord edge instead of this little accident. So anyway, I'm looking forward to making some good progress on that because right now that's my only other active whip. I do still have my stripe step socks, but I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. I want to complete them. I need to. I will, but um, maybe not right this minute. I did cake up some other yarn. I can't show you the one set until well, at least next week. We'll see. Um, Something that I want to work on, but it's yarn that hasn't been released yet, so I'm not going to show it. But I also caked up this. I don't know if y'all remember this. This is the colorway Inertia by String Theory Colorworks that Bo picked out. Remember I told y'all he was coveting someone else's yarn, but he picked it out at Distaff Day, and I want to knit him a pair of socks. Here's my dilemma. We were trying to figure out I asked him, do you just want straight up socks all the way down in this colorway, or do you want different colored, heels and toes and cuff and all that good stuff? And he was like, I don't know. So we asked Morgan what she, we were at the dinner table. So she said, different color. I was like, okay, well, what's it going to be? I suggested, because I like something completely different, I suggested a bright red because there's no red in there. And Bo said no. So we thought lemon, the yellow, and I do have a colorway that I think would really match the yellow if you wanted, if you're going to pick a color that's in there, called Smooth As. There's none in the shop, but and I was thinking, why did I name that? I know what it was, like Smooth As Butter. That's a dumb name. Y'all, you need to tell me. If I name something dumb, you just tell me, Carolyn, that's a dumb name. Why didn't I just name it something like buttercream frosting? I don't know. Anyway. So if I dye it again, I'm changing the name, just so you know. But I don't know. So I'm either going to dye that up on a mini or, a set of minis, and I'll put the extras in the shop. Or, oh, there it is. Anyway, I'll get back to that. Or I think I have some purple. I know I've got how many purples do I have? I think I have as many purples as I have reds in terms of dye recipes. So I'm sure that there is a purple that will match the purple that is in here. So it's either going to be, I'll dye up the yellow or I'll pick a purple and do that. I kind of like the blue too, but I don't think I have a dye recipe that matches that. Look at that beautiful blue in there. I don't think I have a dye recipe that matches that. And I mean, it's a pair of socks. I'm not going to develop a whole new recipe for a pair of socks. So, but I do want to cast these on. So, the fastest option would be to do the purple because I'm pretty sure I have some purples in my stash that would work. A purple in my stash that would work. So it's probably going to be the purple because if I dye up the yellow, I will be dyeing a little bit this weekend, but I don't really want to dye it. So anyway, we'll see when I wanted to cast this on right away, but unless I find that purple, that may not happen. So we'll see. How is it that I'm always knitting something for Bo? What is that about? Anyway, yes, Ryan Sandberg. Okay. Very good. I think it was, I kept seeing Rhino and I was like, that's not the name I remember of the Cubs player. So, and it seems only fair since you fed my cast on Ina Smith years. Exactly. Paybacks. So, hey, you've got to cast some. What are you working on? Because you just finished up 2 projects. So, yeah, I do love a good I-cord edge myself, Liz. Yes, Smooth As is a great color. You like the name, though? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. To me, it sounds just kind of cheap because somebody walking up would be like, Smooth As. Like, what is that? Anyway, all right. So what else do I have to show you? I have some things to show you. So, okay. So we have the April Fiber Challenge going on. If you've not seen it or participated in it, you still can. You have until the end of the month. There is a thread in the Swan City Stitchers Facebook group that tells you all about it. In fact, I think I have it as a pinned post. So it's not hard to find. And you can read all about it there. And coming up For May, let me show you. I thought we would do something a little bit more specific. April is kind of wide open. You get to choose your project as long as it meets certain requirements. So I thought for May, it's that time of year we like to knit or crochet summer tops. So I thought we could do a summer top stitch along. So, and as usual, you do not have to use Swan City yarns, and you don't have to knit the pattern that I thought I got rid of that I'm showing. However, if you would like to knit the pattern and if you would like to use Swan City yarns, then I have put together some kits. So let's talk about this pattern. It is called, I talked about it, I showed it last week, Fiorellino. I can't help it. I have to say it with a little bit. I can't do accents well. So like when I can, I got to milk it for all it's worth. That's like, I don't know if y'all watched The Office. There was one time Michael Scott was supposed to be a Greek guy. And what was it? He kept sounding like, wasn't an Italian or something like that? And I'm like, yeah, that would be me. I would that's, yeah. So anyway, this is a very, if you're going to knit a top, this is a great one. I looked at it and you can see that it's very straightforward. There's lots of stockinette stitch in there, but there's some interesting detail up in the yoke, but none of that looks hard. And Isabel Kramer has a knack for getting these awesome details that are really not difficult at all. She really does well with that. I think there's some German short rows for shaping, just makes it fit better. And so it looks like it's a good, pretty straightforward knit. So I like that about it. And I also like it, which is true for most summer tops. You don't need as much yarn. And so I like that too. And so I put together the sizing information. So just to let you know, because I know sometimes people get confused because typically, as you know, if you're going to knit a garment, they usually go by your bust size. That's how you pick your size. And then they tell you how much ease is recommended. Like if you want your top to fit like this, for example, she says that's 1 to 3 inches of positive ease. And I don't remember if she mentioned what she had there. So, but in this pattern, she gives you the sizes and the finished bust circumference. So for example, my bust, I always remeasure because I don't know, you never know. And I told you all the other day, I had a shirt on that my buttons were, I was like, am I growing? Which, by the way, just, I realized, I think I know what's happening is that lately I've been trying to put more emphasis on some resistance training because they say as you get older, that's, developing your muscles is really good for your skeletal support and all that. And I'll be honest, I would much rather do cardio. I'd do 60 minutes of cardio over 20 minutes of resistance training. I'm trying to be better about that. So I've been focusing on some resistance training. And I realized, even though I'm not getting bulky, I think I've developed some muscle. And so maybe that's why my bust is getting, my overall circumference is a little bit bigger. So I figure, hey, if it's because I'm developing some muscle, that's a good thing, right? So anyway, I measured myself the other day. I always measure again. And I think you're supposed to measure without a shirt on, but I had on a thin t-shirt. So I just left it on. And I measured at 36.25 inches. Okay. So the finished bust circumference that I think best matches that is size 2, which is 37.25. That would give me 1 inch of positive ease. Because if I went up to the next size 3, that would be 40.75 inches. That would be just over 3 inches. And I already, because I have a little bit more of a bust to start with, if I give myself too much ease up here, by the time I get down here, I've told you, it looks like a box, like I'm wearing a box. So it's better if I don't take too much ease usually or have too much. So that means I'll go for a size 2. So, and if you might, it's never a bad idea to double check my math. So, it's not that hard to do. She gives you the actual yardages. So, for example, size 2, 793 yards, and that's about 2 skeins of fingering. So you'll notice in the chart that I've given, so in the listing, if you go that route, I've given you 2 options for bases, Trusty Sock and Silky Sock. Silky Sock has just a little bit less yardage. And so there's one size that you would need 1 extra skein of Silky Sock than you would Trusty Sock, just because it adds up, that yardage. So, yeah, Liz, I agree. The yellow did pop out on the skein. And Bo says that's his nickname. Well, what's his real name? Anyway, and why are we, I don't care. I mean, I hate to say I don't care about baseball because Valera loves baseball. So I can't say that, but Bo is nitpicking about me and my names. Anyway, so Anne, you just started socks and raspberry lemonade. Ooh, I love it. Oh, I can't wait. The yarn Helen that I was at on Saturday, she mentioned that I should have a little book of some finished projects in the different colorways so that I don't always have to carry a sample for every single colorway. But if I have a book of projects, finished projects, people can look through. That would be good. So I think I'm gonna do that. I just got to figure out what time in my day can I allot to that, but I'm going to do it because it's a priority. And Pam, yes, it is a beautiful pattern. I know. So that's my dilemma, is picking the color, which y'all got to help me. Hey, Evie, glad to see you. Happy Friday. Oh, Rhino is his nickname. Okay, well, y'all didn't tell me that. You said Ryan Sand, and I thought it was Ryan Sandberg. That's what I remember. So Rhino, I'm like, okay. Anyway, now that we all know, if anybody asks you, who's your favorite Cubs player? You can say, oh, Ryan Sandberg. Even though you're as clueless as I am, possibly. All right, so here's the colors. Okay, just so you all know, if you want a different color, or if you're knitting a different pattern or something, and you need different amounts of skeins or something, just message me because I'll do a special order. As long as you're doing 2 skeins, then I will dye it up for you. So I think charcoal was one of the options, but y'all know what charcoal looks like, right? So vintage is a possibility. And I already have my Cumulus top is in vintage. So I'm not, and I only have it on fluffy lace right now. That's why I'm showing you a skein of fluffy lace. But this also very closely matches what Isabel Kramer is wearing in the pattern picture. So, and then purple leaf plum. Again, if you haven't knit or crocheted with purple leaf plum, I don't know. You must not like purple. So here, these last 2, these are the options that I have to choose between. So this is called Lollipop Sea. Now, I don't know if I've ever dyed this actually and put it in the shop. It's very close to, let me get it. It's very close to nutmeg. So this is nutmeg, but nutmeg has a little bit of brown put in it. So it's kind of just a richer color. Whereas Lollipop Sea, this was from a 12 Days of Christmas years ago. I think maybe our very first year. Anyway, and so it's just a nice, very pale mauve. And I have to tell you, my introverted wallflower self, this is what I go to. And I because I just tend towards anything that's going to be more pale, a little bit more neutral. That's what I go for. Bo is constantly pulling me away from that and encouraging me to pick other things. So my other choice would be leprechaun. I think I mentioned this to y'all. And I wore this green shirt today, which I shouldn't have, because look at that, y'all. I have to can you see I'm perspiring and it's like showing? I forget that about this shirt. It shows my perspiration. I know, so attractive. Anyway, but I wore this shirt because leprechaun is very similar to this. I look good in a dark hunter green and then I look good in like this. And I don't know of many other greens that I really look good in. So I'm thinking leprechaun might be the colorway that I choose. I'm trying, here's the thing I've noticed that as a dyer, doing trunk shows and festivals and stuff like that, it's actually helpful for people to notice you and to be like, ooh, look at that bright color. Because then it gives you something to talk about. So I'm thinking I should do this, but I don't know. It's a summer top. I might go with Lollipop C. What do y'all think? Leprechaun, Lollipop C for me. You'll have to let me know. All right. And yes, Susan, that's exactly what I want to do. In fact, that's where I was going. I was going to say to Anne, I hope you'll post a picture. I know I've seen other pictures of the raspberry lemonade. Oh, in fact, the gnome. So I just have to grab them all. And maybe what I'll do is put them all in a file. And then when I have some accumulated, I'll figure out how to make the book. I could even do it on something like Shutterfly. Yeah. But by the way, that reminds me of something y'all might be interested in. A friend of mine is doing some glamour shots for me. She's a photographer and she does it professionally. And yeah, so my photos suddenly are like elevated. I'm just like, oh, how did I live without you before? So anyway, where was I going with that? Oh, because I thought maybe I'll have her help me with something like that. That sounds like something she might like to do. She loves different projects, I've noticed. So anyway, her name's Anna, by the way, Anna Brighton. She's awesome. So where was I going? I feel like I was going down a path and got, okay, Bo is getting on to me, I know. And let's see. I know, Valera, I'm sorry. You just no respect around here. No respect whatsoever. Liz, yes, absolutely. You could totally do a fade. But I did a fade on my broom, a kind of a fade. I did more, it was color blocking, but I did mocha and cinnamon spice and nutmeg. So I think I'll just go with one. So we have one vote for Lollipop and one for Leprechaun. So I expect the rest of y'all to vote. Which one should I pick? All right. So that's the summer top stitch along kit. So that's what's available. But as you know, and y'all know if there are old recipes that I haven't dyed up as Swan City Yarns that you remember I dyed in the past, I can still dye those. I do have the recipes. So just let me know if there's something else that you would like. The other thing that I wanted to show you is last night we had Dying to Knit, and it was all about M&Ms. We were learning all about M&Ms and how they've changed. And I didn't realize, I knew that I had remembered there being a light brown or tan M&M at one point, but I never, I guess, noticed when they got rid of it. And apparently, as we were kindly informed, they got rid of it in 1995 when they traded it out for the blue. How interesting is that? So anyway, I don't have the colorway here. I didn't think to bring it, and it's out on the dry rack. So sorry, you can't see the colorway. Sorry. Oh, it's in the listing. You can see the colorway in the listing for the coordinating cousins. So I dyed up a pink. The pink is called Candy Coated, and the purple tonal, well, you can really see the tonal differences there. Oh, I like it. Is called Salty Sweet, just because both of those have been slogans that have been used by M&Ms over the years. So, and then one, I think Lonnie asked, well, how does Candy Coated compare to your blushing? So you can see here the difference. Candy Coated in the middle here is a little bit more of a pinky pink, whereas your blushing, I wouldn't call it mauve, but it definitely is going to be more leaning that way than candy coated. So if you've been looking for just a super sugary pink, then that's candy coated. And then this is I have so many purple dye powders. I could still easily come up with like 20 new purples. So we'll never run out of purple options. Let me tell you, if there's a purple you haven't seen yet, just wait, just hang around. We'll find it. So, but anyway, so these are the coordinating cousins. I realized, Silky Sock, that's the merino silk cashmere blend on fingering. I don't have that as an option. Just for some reason, that wasn't one of the dyeing to knit bases that I offered, but it is very popular. So if you ever see a coordinating cousin that you want and you want it on Silky Sock, reach out to me and let me know, and I'll send you an invoice. For that, I will say you can even do one skein just because I'm dyeing these colorways up as a pre-order. So on something like that, I will definitely let you do one skein because it just gets added to the pot with the others. Yeah, and it occurred to me, some of you all might like to use one of these for your summer top. I like that pink, don't you? I even like that. I don't have many purples. I got my Purple Leaf Plum Wednesday sweater, but that's a winter sweater. So, yeah. But anyway, so you could totally put the sizing to one of these and order your skeins. So that will start at the beginning of May. I put in the listing. Make sure you do your pre-order of your sweater kits by a week from tomorrow, the 19th, just to make sure that you get your yarn in time for May 1st. You can order past that, but that's the date that I'm giving you as a guarantee. If you order by then, I'll make sure that I ship it out in time so that you get it in time for May 1st, when we'll start our stitch along. All right, I'm looking at my list. I need to put on, I have not yet, on the front page of the website, I haven't added the June 7th date. But if you've been paying attention to where I'll be in the upcoming months, June 7th, like I said, I'll be at Knit and Stitch Boutique doing a class and a trunk show. And I'm working something out with Helen at She Sells Yarn. I think we're going to do something there over the summer as well, but it hasn't been confirmed. So I'll let you know about that. I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't know what it is. So I'll try to find it and post it. I'll make sure I update all the posts that are on. So Anne is voting for candy coated for my summer top. Yeah, I do kind of like that. That's a good pink for me. So maybe I will. Maybe I'll do candy coated. I like it. All right. What will you all choose? That's what I need to know. And Karen votes for it as well. Carol says candy coated would be very eye-catching. All right. I like it. Yes. Thank you very much, Tish. Don't forget to hit the like button. You do have to be signed in to YouTube to hit the like button. Also, if you have been around this long and you have not subscribed, I invite you to do so. Sometimes I post other things besides the the Friday video, which then gets downloaded and put on the homepage on Saturday morning. But I do other things as well. And so if you're subscribed, then you can see those fun things as well. So, all right. I think that's all I have. I think I've yapped myself out. And I think you've been able to see my sweaty armpits long enough. So no more of that. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you so much for joining me and putting up with me and my shenanigans. And yeah, I appreciate you all. And thank you for showing off your projects in the Swan City Stitchers. That means the world to me, and also all over social media. Yeah, so don't forget anything challenging that you're doing in April. put the hashtag SCS April Challenge so that you get entered to win for the April Fiber Challenge. And yeah, hey, I will see you in the Swan City Stitchers or next week right here. All right. Bye, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend. If I can say goodbye, I don't know. I'm stuck.